Okay, so it's nearly 4. Last time was pretty good, really. I feel pretty rested. So, but I want to talk about my hair. Before I went to bed, um, I was in there combing my hair and stuff, and I was like, man, it's like my hair just keeps changing textures. It's reminding me more and more of like little kids' hair. It's so fucking healthy. And and just the way it feels. I don't know how to explain it, but it just feels um different. Like, and I want to show you this too, because it's so crazy how it's so much darker, but I'm going to show you like if I turn it, it's in different angles without the light right on it. So you can kind of see what I mean, because you can kind of see like when it goes at different angles, it's like different. So it's like how this light hits it always makes it look brighter than it is, but it's definitely progressively turning colors all the time. And I feel like it's so close, but it goes so slow. That's one thing. And I think some people, because even when I started noticing and saying online, there were so many people that started saying, "Oh, I've been taking blah blah blah," and I was noticing my hair changing, but I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was just in my mind, and still, there is nobody asks me or says anything. That is so weird to me because I don't know. I'm just different, I guess. Well, I know I'm different in a lot of ways, but yeah, if I saw somebody's hair changing colors next door to me or across the street from me, especially I told the people across the street because both of them, their hair is solid white. And I told her, I sent a message and I said, by the way, white hair is a sign of copper deficiency and aging isn't real or something. And nobody ever fucking believes me. Nobody says, what are you talking about? What do you mean? But nobody says anything like, your hair keeps getting darker or something. Are you coloring it or anything? It's like, do people, are they not observant? Are they, I know they're not observant, but it's just weird. I don't know because like when I go to the food bank, I see all these people, and then sometimes, no, I don't wear a hat up there all the time. I don't think ever wear a hat up there. I wear a hat when I go out and walk. And I know there's some people who don't see me, and they don't see me very often. That's for sure. But it just is weird because when people do see me, but maybe they don't remember what my hair was like before. So when they see me, they just think, oh, she doesn't have that much gray hair or something. But it was all throughout. It was like all this was white. It was like it had been moved up to where when I pulled my hair back, it was like this much had color, but it still had streaks of gray in it too. And so then this whole thing, and look how much baby hairs I got going here. Like so many. And I'm going to say probably castor oil. I put that all over my face all the time. And the biotin. Which I'd seen some doctors saying that, that we're all deficient in that too, is probably why a lot of people's hair is falling out. So I recommend the biotin. Um, but anyways, this all was white. This was all white, everything. And the white hairs get real like baby hairish. They're so, like baby. They are so, uh, and then they kind of get wiry. Like the texture changes. That's why I'm like, man, my whole hair, my texture has changed on my whole hair. But to me, it's like, man, there is no gray streaks in there anywhere. And it's definitely like a healthy texture, which, reminds me of being a kid before you're minerally deprived, because then as you get older too, like a lot of women, we start coloring our hair and stuff, which that was something because I said when I had control over my girls' hair for so long. And once they got to be teenagers, they were very rebellious about it, and they wanted to color their hair all the time. And I kept saying, no, don't color your hair, don't color your hair. And they all start sneaking and going to their older sisters started using boxes, the one that got pregnant in high school and moved out and got her own family going, she started doing her hair with box colors. So they go over there and they start doing their hair with box colors. So see, they just sneak around, do whatever they want. But I think that they have all come to regret and to understand what I was saying, you know, that was damaging their hair and all that stuff. So anyways, that was just another little side note on the hair thing. And I'll show you the hat. I'm not going to wear it because it's like, no, I'm going to be seen in this hat. It's going to be with a full outfit and stuff. But I'll show you the hat because somebody was like, because it's cool. I have a lot of cool hats, though. Well, I don't know. It's all comparison wise, you know, because if I compare myself to somebody who only has a few, then I've got a bunch. And if I compare myself to somebody who's got a whole bunch, then I've only got a small amount. So it's all, everything is all in a perspective, you know, and it just depends on what slider scale you're using to perceive it. And so you can say whatever, but always, to me, there's always someone more and there's always someone less. And so that's just the way it works. But this is the hat. Look at how tall this part is. I don't know if you can tell on the thing. And it has this cool ass band. And it had this fancy thing inside of what the store it came from. But I took that part out. But it was like brand new. And it has this cool ass little hole right there. It's like, fuck, I love that. And it has this really nice leather thing. And these things, like I'd seen that, there's a couple hat makers I watch on TikTok. And they put these things and it holds stuff. So when I had seen this, when it had feathers sticking out of it. And it was like, I kept the feather. But I was like, if I was going to do the feather look, I would be a different feather. It'd be a bigger, bolder feather probably. But it has other things too. And so, and it's, I mean, it's got these little studs. So it's kind of like a deep Western hat because this is much deeper, much taller than my other one. And you could put it up like that. You know, to me, it just reminds me so much of a pilgrim hat or some kind of like this Western like hat. It's got a big brim, so it keeps the sun out of your eyes. And I'm not even sure why the guys wore those hats, like a 10-gallon hat, because it's the same thing with the top hats. So it's like the top hats like came from the city, and they went by a size, like, you know, like Lincoln wore one. And but how were that? Because I was looking about those. Is it like a gallon? No, it's not like it. They don't do it like a gallon and a half gallon, I don't think. I don't remember how it's measured. But I had found there's like 3 different sizes of top hats. There's one that's kind of low, kind of more girly looking. And then there's a medium one, and that's the one I want. And then there's the tall one. The tall one's that real tall one. And I would see them all the time, like in Scrooge. Scrooge was one of my favorite movies. Ooh, it's time to start watching Scrooge. I forgot about that. Usually those Pavlov things, that all of a sudden happens. It's like, I gotta watch Scrooge. But anyways, those guys, and see like they're richer kind of guys, the kind of aristocrat kind of guys, that they were wearing those kind of hats. Oh yeah, well, another little side note, by the way, is because I've made this mistake by, like, I don't know what to call the people in Alaska. We were always taught they were called Eskimos. And so I saw a girl yesterday doing a video, which is so crazy because she's a tribe person and she looks the same coloring as, like, exactly. Like, we look like we could have been sisters or something. And she said, I don't remember, I don't think she was specific about the tribe, but she said that that is like a slur. That is like really rude to call somebody that. And it's a term that they gave the people when they went there to take over their land and stuff. And she said they want to be called the Inuit, I-N-U-I-T, or the Inuit. I'll have to look it up again, but Inuit or Inuit. Like I-N-U-T or something, Inuit. I'll have to look it up again and see if I can find. But Inuit. So when you say anything, and she said, it's fine if you've said it before, but she's trying to pass on, so people don't keep saying it, because it's kind of like, I don't know, the way she said it is kind of like if you went around calling people the N-word or something. And so it's very offensive to them. And she doesn't want her kids to ever grow up to even know that word and stuff like that. And God, that makes me emotional, because that is so sad. Is like, and they have done this to all these tribes and stuff for so long. But so the guys wore those kind of hats, but then when they came over here, it's like maybe they needed a wider brim when they started going out, and maybe that's how they started making the cowboy hat. And the cowboys needed a wider brim than those little top hats, and that they would ride their horses and stuff out there. And so it was more, because everything was more about, things weren't just about looks. I mean, maybe those top hats and stuff were about like aristocrat kind of thing or something. Because like in Scrooge, the guys with money wear them. But is even the guy who works for him wears it. But then the people, like the poor people out there begging. But that's what I was picturing, the kind, like the kind that the poor people have. Like that's why like the little thing in it. I don't know. I got a thing about that always. I don't know. I don't like that kind of aristocratic kind of, the whole look, the whole thing, like the whole fucking thing. The Kardashians, all that kind of like, ugh. Same thing with those Hunger Games looking people, like that. I'm way more of a peasant. I'm way more of a villager. I'll just stay down here in the village with my people. I don't like they're phony and fake. Whenever I look at them, they're just so phony and fake and so, ugh. I just don't. And, okay, so there was this one thing. I don't know if I understand what I was saying earlier, but hopefully I'll circle back. But there's this one thing too. That's what I hear hanging up. That so the 39 days. So I just asked Siri too, because how many days it's been. And so one thing I said the 25th and one thing said the 26th. So I don't know if it's whatever day that it aired or whatever. But she said the October 25th was 25 days ago. No, 30. Oh my God. Whatever the hell she said, I thought, oh my gosh, there's only 4 days till the thing. So she must have said 34 days since October 25th. You go count it. This is what Siri said. And because I said, how many days has it been since October 25th? And then I'm pretty sure she said 34. I don't even know. See, this is what numbers do in my head, because then they start swirling around. And I can't, ever since the brain injury thing. I used to be able to remember numbers so good, but now they mess with me. And so whatever it was when she said it, I thought, oh, it's only 4 days till then. So we're close. Oh my gosh, we're so close. And there's another video. So there's other one where this guy is talking about these remote viewers. And these remote viewers looked to see. And I don't know if they were looking at this specific 39 days or what. I don't remember. So many people talking about so many different things. I'm just really hoping this 39 days is legit and that we really, some shit goes down, man. And it seems like we're moving so fast towards this shit going down that it's like, it feels hopeful, but fuck, I'm telling you, this is like, just for how long this has been going to me. Like, man, I know people get burnt out after just being woke up since 2020, but it's just like, man, I've got years more than that. And it's just like, fuck, dude. I am so ready for it's not just the truth, because the truth is out there. It's just not everybody's open to the truth. Not everybody's thinking towards the truth. Not everybody's willing to accept the truth. Like, there's all these blockages. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I can't wait till when it flips. It's like all the things that have been blocking you are all of a sudden going to fall. And then it's going to be like, what? And that is where people are going to see themselves. And that's the part. Because it's going to change people It's going to change their attitudes. It's going to change the world. So that's the part I'm excited for. Like, and I'm like, real excited for the money thing. Like, I'm super excited about that. I wish that would hurry up and that they would do that. And the, oh, yeah, yeah, it's got old fucking, she's out there. I guess all this is a show. And it's all a ridiculous, absurd show. So that's what you got to remember. And this is the hook, line, and then there's the sinker. Because they're hooking these people in. And so they think a certain thing. Each soul is going to perceive it the way they're supposed to perceive it. And their perception is going to be revealed to them in the other side. So they are, it's at some point, everything's going to flip. Like if this is in the major big flip or if this is going to do its own little flip. But everybody who's looking at this side is going to suddenly see this side, which is going to hopefully make them question why they looked at it from this side. And so okay, so she's out there talking about, you know, well, they did so good because they raised $1.6 billion. We did it. We raised it. And that is big, you guys. Come on, this is good. And so then the news comes on to, you know, talk about this clip of hers. And this is where things are switching too. This is like where we'll see like media start changing their tune, which I've seen so many clips where they start changing their tune and kind of throwing some people off and stuff. You got people stepping down. I think Rachel Maddow stepped down. Good. I think there was more. Some of these sellouts lying, you know. I don't know. Maybe some of them are that oblivious. Maybe some of them are that ignorant. And they really think that their side isn't biased and manipulating. I mean, I think you'd have to be pretty much a Looney Tune to be that unaware, but whatever. Give her the benefit of the doubt. Just like these people in The View. Like all these people, they're just coming at you day and night. Gonna mess with your mind and tell you how to think. The View starts you out early. Like, we're going to get you in the morning, and then we're going to end you up in the evening with Kimmel and all those dickheads. Which Kimmel says he's leaving. It's like, see you, dude. Like, no matter where you go, if you got in trouble, it's a global deal. Y'all may not know. They may not have told you this, but like, there's no place to hide. And so anyways, they're talking about like, oh, so she's bragging about this money that she misspent because the money's gone. Where's the money? And they're like, there's never been an election where somebody has blown this much money this quick and also lost. And they're just carrying on about, you know, and why is she even coming out and saying this? What does she think we're supposed to think about this? Like so it's this whole different way of looking at things. And, but that may be on a different station too. That may not be on their stations that they're getting their information from, because that is all, you know, a part of the misdirection. But see, that's where they have to wake up to see. So if they're all like, oh yeah, you know, that they are so happy and she raised all that money, because I'm still seeing people, they're still trying to figure out, okay, so when they do the count, then they're going to do that. Like, she can still get in, guys. So like, come on, guys, she can still do this. Like, don't give up hope yet. There's so many of these. It's like, you guys are getting wacky, man. Like, look. But, I mean, I'm sure that there was lots of us who were feeling the same way. Fucking 2020, January. Like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even believe it once it was April. And it was still going. It was like, what the fuck? Now we are at the end. It's like mind-blowing. Like, yeah, one thing, too, is like with some of this stuff, like I don't know, like I can't see, you know, exactly how things are going to play out. It's like I can see certain things and I can see more depth to them, but I can't see all the things. And always my guidance has always been, you know, it's a part of the thing. It's a part of the learning to trust and to not know. So we're not supposed to know every little thing and every little detail. We're supposed to learn how to just roll with the punches and stay centered and learn how to care for ourselves. Like all these kinds of things we're supposed to be doing, you know, turning things towards you. Like noticing like, oh, this is stressing me out. What can I do to take better care of myself? So all those kinds of things. And there will be a point where it's going to flip. And then there will be a lot of people like, oh my gosh, it really was a movie. We really didn't have to stress, even though there really is people leaving. And this is a hard thing because we're so attached to life in this 3D world. But you know, even when I see all these, you know, this mass murdering going on with the dogs, especially in Harris County, and they show all their cute faces and stuff, and it is so heartbreaking. And I just think, man, as soon as they get that stuff, though, they're fucking out. They're happy, they're running, no more suffering, and they're enjoying being alive again. Because this world of what we consider being alive is really is just in the process of death so far. Now it's like this change is going to be a rebirth for humans. But it's like before we were, like from the time we were birthed, we were decaying and dying. We were being robbed of our nutrients and health. And so now when all this shit switches, then, you know, that's what's going to extend our lives too, is the changing in our, not just our lifestyles, but how and what we eat, and understanding the point of nutrition, understanding the point of, what is that? Bringing consuming food or something, which there's still a whole group of people who are freaking out about RFK, about them making it more healthy. I saw one guy saying he keeps seeing videos, even people complaining about they want to keep the poisons in the food. It makes it good. It's like, you guys are lost your damn minds. Now, obviously, maybe you're too young and you don't have health issues yet. You don't know how it's going to affect you being poisoned for fucking decades. But believe you me, you don't want this shit in your food. No. And so, so no matter what these people, like, this is their awakening to realize, like, about health and lifestyle and taking care of yourself, extend your life, and not just extend your life, but it makes you healthy. And so it changes your value to life. But before we were just birthed in, and then it was just like on our way out. It was just like a block of time to get out, and then you're out. Now, and it is so crazy too, is how things are so temporary. Like, and people just don't even realize, like, this is the things you have to value. Even going to a Thanksgiving and everybody is, you know, tense or whatever over politics or whatever the thing. And that's temporary. It's not going to last forever. It can last forever if you're going to sit there and try and argue and push it and fight with everybody and tell them they're stupid. And one thing too, to me, as that came to me this morning, was that, you know, over something I was thinking about, it was like, you can have any perspective you want. The problem is when you start thinking someone else needs to match your perspective, they need to have the same perspective as you, then you've lost all of your respect towards them, because then you are thinking that you can override them to them, that they don't even know their own selves, that they need to be overridden by you. And so that is, it's really a disrespect that people don't realize that they are pushing. And it is, to me, it's like from a lack of fear and control, but to push other people to agree with them, to only see the things that they see and understand things through the way they understand them and stuff. Because when there's a different things, it's not for you to push your stuff on them, it's for you to learn from them. And so, and it doesn't have to be you change what you think or anything, but gather information. When somebody thinks different than you, gather information from them. Try and understand their perception, how they reached it and stuff. And then, you know, you can end the conversation by, that's interesting. Thank you for that. You know, you don't have to be like, oh, okay, now I'm going to change mine because now I get yours. No, you gotta have yours. But all the different ones you get is going to expand yours. You're going to see more and see more. So when you have those interactions, it's not for you to go in fists clenched and, oh, you're going to do what I say. I'm right, you're wrong. Oh. And then, It's way, because that is what you would see like in your life review. Then you would see your own attitude, and you would see like, man, I just wouldn't even listen to people. I would block information. No wonder I just stayed stuck like that forever. Is because the information, the universe is bringing you information, and it's going to bring you information that's going to push you to push yourself. So it could come in a package that you think, oh man, I like a, this I think happens a lot for younger people, is like, an old person, I'm not listening to anything they gotta say, fuck them. And there's a bunch of stupid old boomers, they don't know anything. It's like, they've lived all these years. You think you're a goddamn genius after whatever 20 years, and you think, but they didn't learn shit over all those other ones. Like, it's so ludicrous. But so there's a lot though, well, I'm not listening to an old person. And then the old person has some kind of great insight, but it was your own biases that keep you blocked from this little nugget that could have been in your pocket that, a couple months later something happens, and all of a sudden this thing this person says is like, oh, and it just all of a sudden has this pure meaning, but you missed out on it because you don't like those little old people. They don't have anything to offer. So you block yourself, but you don't know it at the time. That is more the stuff you see at your life review. But that is what I'm talking about now. You could be approaching life more open with the concept of understanding what would happen at your life review, because to me what we're doing is kind of going through a life review right now, but it's not just this life, it's like your whole soul, your whole existence. And it may not be every little detail of your whole existence. It's going to be the things that you need, that you've been like stuck on, areas you've been stuck. This is like releasing areas that you've been stuck. And it's trippy is because there's so many of the things that I heard loud and clear when I was a kid. And I didn't know. I mean, I just thought it was like part of my personality and stuff. But now through this part of this awakening and stuff, where I've seen the attachment to past lives and situations, and I've seen like how those kinds of things hold you back and how you need to heal them and move forward and move out of them. And there's just a lot of those different things that I started having an understanding about throughout this whole thing. But that is, to me, it is like this life review. It's like thinking about things and then taking different action. But definitely every single person that comes around you is there at that exact moment in time for you, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Is, and it can be something as little and brief as the lady saying, hey, there's some fabric over here, little fabrics. They were like little pieces of felt or something. I was like, I want a baby blanket. And, but her saying that and me turning and seeing that other thing, just little things like that. But see, you can be missing out because, I could have sat in my car and pouted because there was people. I could have, and, when I was saying about the Thanksgiving thing and about that, there's lots of people who are there having their Thanksgiving with just their dogs, and they're feeling horrible, and people feel sorry for them, and they feel sorry for themselves. And, the single guy next door, he in the morning, happy Thanksgiving. And, I know that there's a lot of people who are alone and lonely. They're alone and sad. They are alone and feel rejected. And I'm not in that group. It's a different group I'm in. And I don't know. It's a happy group. And I don't know. I know they're out there, but I see the ones that are so sad. And this girl was like, I don't even want anyone to know because people feel so sorry for you. What did I say yesterday? I said people feel so sorry for you if you're alone on Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's like a crisis. And people are like, oh my God, sometimes it's a choice. Like, no, I could go. But then it's like, why would I go and put myself through all of that treacherous drive? Because I was so desperate to have somebody sit with me. And no, I've found peace in myself. And so I'm not going to put myself into dangerous situations out of desperation or whatever it is. And everybody's different. Like, this is something that's really been going on in my head over last night. So maybe I'm supposed to talk about it because I'm seeing it so clearly. But sometimes when I talk about things that are about other people in my life, then I always think that they would think, oh, she's just talking bad about me or something, talking bad about me for views. But it's not that. I'm trying to talk about situations and how to deal with situations, how to look at things, how to process through things that get us stuck or angry or sad. Because I had a great day yesterday. I got up at midnight or whatever. And so I don't know. I was definitely by 6 o'clock. It was pretty early. No, I think by 6 I was like, okay, I gotta stretch it out. I gotta stretch it out. But when I went in and started cooking, I had everything cooked really quick. And everything was done. And then we went out and went for a little walk. She did a big walk the other day, so she only did a little one yesterday. I think it kind of gets her sore when she does a big one. And then plus these two pulling on each other. But so I made all the food and I was so excited. The dogs were so excited. Oh my gosh. They were loving all this food and they were so excited. And it was so fun. It's so fun. And watching them play and watching them get excited. I don't know. Yeah, you find purpose, but you find like joy or gratitude in small things. Like, I don't know, like when you could have, like, I could totally take the energy and turn it. I could turn it a different direction. I could focus on the other facts. I could focus on facts that would make me feel down and make me feel sad, make me feel rejected, but I just don't feel that anymore. I don't feel that drive. I don't feel like looking at that stuff. I don't feel rejected. I feel like when somebody is rejecting you, it's really them. It has nothing to do with me. It's like, especially when you, like, in my case with my kids, especially. And so to me, like the one daughter who's mad, and I feel like that in the misunderstanding of me as my character, because and I look at some of the things like I've talked about of my own personality as a mom, and I know I came across as intimidating because their friends would say I was intimidating, and you don't think of yourself as being that way, but anyways, the but I feel like because there was this thing, I'm just like different. Like, I have a certain drive. I go, go, go. I don't let things get me down or something. Like, if I get down, I give myself time to be down and then I get up. I look at different perspectives. I don't know how to explain it, but there's certain ways that I do things. So then as a parent, your kid comes in and they're sitting there whining and complaining about something. It's like, well, you just gotta get over it. Or you got to look at it from this perspective, or think about this, or what about that, and so to them, it was always like I wasn't there for them. I feel like that came across as I was not supportive of them. I wasn't there for them. And then there's also this thing of like, me being so perfect or something. Like, if it was all like, I think I'm so perfect, or I just was always getting things done. And it's like, and so other people start feeling like I'm judging them. Like, I'm thinking like, you should be like me or something. And I may do that sometimes, like, if you're down, get up. You can't stay down. You can't stay down. Dirt's just going to go over you. What are you going to do then? It's like, you have to get up and you have to keep yourself going, because nobody else is going to. And so, I mean, that is a part of my personality. There is a part that is, you just, you got to survive. You got to get yourself, you got to, and listen to, like, I don't know. I can totally see how it would make them feel, but I feel like that is a part of, why my one daughter doesn't want to talk to me is, she thinks that I'm going to be judgmental of her or something, that I look down on her or something. And I don't. I think she's super cool. But then that also makes her hold on to this anger and resentment from when she's a teenager. And it's like, it's so crazy because I'm so different than I was then. So different to this person who she holds on to. It's like that lady died, as a matter of fact, in the hospital in '09. So, um, you know, I mean, I think we could put her to rest, maybe grieve her a little bit or something. But if you want to just hate her, that's up to you. And then if you want to reject me because you hate her so bad, then that's, I mean, it will be my loss too, but it's also her loss, you know. I mean, if something were to happen to me, then it would be all that time that she had never even got to know me. There would be people who had gotten to know me as this person, and she's never got to know that person. And so I'm not going to get all caught up in feeling bad about myself. It's like, oh, I can see the person that she's holding on to stay angry isn't this person. She doesn't even know this person. And so, and that is a part of, as a parent, when your kids are around you, they're looking at you through these lenses. So they have a real distortion in ever being able to see you. And that is their own soul's journey, their own lessons. And you can't sit there and try and point out their lessons, because what stands out to you is going to be your lessons. What stands out to them will be their own lessons. And they don't need we don't, all of us, nobody needs everything to stand out to you. Do you know how overwhelming that would be? It would be the things that matter to you, the things that stand out to you are a part of your journey, a part of your growth, and a part of helping you to develop yourself. And so to get angry at somebody because they don't see what you see is pointless. And it's, let everybody see what they see in the time that they are going to see it. And I was talking about, because, that both of my daughters who live in Yakima, they both messaged me and said, I wish you could come for Thanksgiving and stuff. And it's like, fuck, man. Even though the bomb cyclone was last week, I know that there's still places that are all fucked up. And it's just like, oh, and then any storm can come, and all the traffic and and going across the pass in this shit ass weather. It's like, I want to go spend time. It's sad to me with the babies growing so fast. I've never been this far away like that from, with my other grandkids. I got to be right there. Like, I was babysitting, I was right around them a lot. And now it is, I never get to see these two. And I don't even have, I had all daughters. And then my one daughter had one grandson, but then there was all girls. And so these are the only other two boys. And I only get to see them mostly videos and stuff. They're always little characters. They're climbing on things and stuff. It's really cute. They're both so cute. So anyways, it makes me kind of sad, and I wish that I could be there more, but it's trippy. Is I still think about, it was this last party, because my family, before, we would always have things all together. We would always do everything, we would have barbecues, we would have holidays, everything. And we would have big crowds, because we would always have all of the girls' family. Like, we would have all of us, and sometimes other grandparents and stuff. So we would always have a big family thing. And there was this one, last one that we had, and I don't know what the deal was, but it was really strong sense to me. And I was watching everybody, and everybody was there. My kids, my grandkids, and that just my kids and my grandkids and their spouses and stuff. And then everybody was married. And well, one person had just gotten split up. And so he wasn't there. But I'm pretty sure he wasn't there. But anyways, it was we're all there, and we're playing these games and having fun. And we always do these silly games, like we have to get up and act something out or something, kind of like charades or whatever. And So we're doing, or word ones or something. I don't know, these funny games that they find and stuff. So we're doing that and everybody's laughing and having fun. And all it just hit me as like, this is the last time we're gonna all be together like this. And I said to everybody, I said something about us all being together and that we need to appreciate it because this could be the last time that we're all together. And everybody's like, oh my God. And, because at that time, everybody just kept thinking I was kind of, just gone wacky. And I was always thinking about weird things. I was always telling everybody how good their food. This was something that they just start cracking up about because every time somebody would make something, we'd have food, I would just carry on about how good it was. My God, this could be in a restaurant. This is the best food I've ever tasted. I love this food. I would just carry on and be like, I don't know. But I just became super grateful. And at that time, everything was tasting really good. Then we went through the poisonous phases and then the texture phases and the fake food phase. Like we've gone through a few phases. But at this time, everything was just like delightful. And, so I was just in this great appreciation of stuff. And so anyways, they just thought, oh, I'm just being so weird. But it really was. That was the last time we were all together like that. And it's sad. So the one daughter, she had said something about, that she wished I could come and stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's so sad because we used to all be together for all these things. And, now we never are. And it was always a big family thing. We would all be together and spend all day together and play games and eat all day and just hang out all day together. And now never. And then so the one daughter who's not speaking to me, and then the other daughter, and that argument is more about like the son-in-law who's coming and helping me, that one, the one that we went to the big wedding in Costa Rica right before quarantine, and then quarantine happened, and then the marriage dissolved. They had been together 9 years. And then they got married. That happened with my other daughter too. She got married. They had been together 9 years. They got married and got divorced within a year. I think that I'm just the government wedding thing is just, I don't know. There's just a lot of things. But anyways, but quarantine pushed a lot of people to think deeper. Like a lot of things went a lot deeper. And so they split up. And then with my other ones, the son-in-laws, when they were split up, they were always the dads of my grandkids. So I had to have a good relationship with them, even though it would make my daughters upset. It would be like, this is the dads of my grandkids. I'm going to have a good relationship with them. And then I've always been, close with them. Even my one son-in-law, not the one that just died, but his friend, the other one, the one that I said, I'm not sure if he was at that one party, the last party, but he had sent me a message a few months ago talking about how much he's always appreciated me and appreciated how I've always given him respect and stuff like that. So anyways, it was a really nice message. And I think that is important to give that to people. Even if they're not saying anything at the time, it's important to give people respect. They feel better about themselves. Tearing people down, it only feeds into that insecurities about themselves and stuff. Telling people that you know better than them and stuff. You gotta let everybody make their own mistakes and do their own thing. And so, this thing on our chin is really good. I'm gonna really start trying to do everything. It's like freaking me out. I tried the DMSO and it burns like a motherfucker. Man, that stuff is hot. And and I had put it with the carrier agent the first time because it's so hot, but I still think it gets hot. But I don't know. I'm going to try. I don't know. Let's see if she walks up. I'll see if I can show you. But anyways, so with those son-in-laws, that was always, there was reason. Even though my daughters, the oldest daughter, she doesn't ever get mad about that kind of stuff. The second daughter, She was getting mad about it. And the third daughter. And there is a thing with the middle kids too, of never feeling like they get their way. The oldest kid and the youngest kid always get their way, but the middle kids never get their way. So, these are every little fucking thing. Every dynamic in your life has a purpose towards your lessons, towards what you're here to learn about. So, and when you feel like you're supposed to be teaching somebody something, it's probably something about your lessons, because we're not supposed to. We pick up on things from people without them trying to force them on us. So when you're trying to force something on somebody, it's not gonna work. Believe me, I was trying fucking for God years, trying to get people to wake up, trying and trying and trying, point things out and stuff, and people just kept thinking I was crazier and crazier. So the so anyways, then this son-in-law, the one that came, so that's the tension on there. And so I had gotten mad. It always comes to these boundaries. This is my boundaries, these are my boundaries, and then they clash. And so I said, well, I just don't want to talk. I'm not gonna go, let's just not talk for a while. And I've done that before when we've gotten in a thing. It's just like, I'm just mad, I don't want to talk. And to me, it's usually like, I don't want to talk for like a week or something. But she blocked me or something. So, but I don't understand, because I can see her location. But when I've said something, it didn't go in the right color. And then she never responded. So she never said anything. And I don't know, I think one of them was happy birthday or something, and then one was a song or something. So I was like, okay, she wants her space, she can have her space, whatever. And I'm gonna force, you want to be mad and you want to block me and stuff, then you need to go through your process. And then my ex, who's the dad of those two, so the ex that I raised those ones with the longest, he was the one I spent most of my adult life raising kids with him. And there's so many lessons, and it's so trippy because I knew him as a soulmate. There was a lot of things and it made me think like that we were gonna have this great relationship. And it was like, no, no, that's where you guys see it's all by vibration. Those soulmates that are there to teach you, yeah, you may feel close to them, but it's not for bliss. It's for you to learn how to go find your own bliss. So yeah, it's gonna be full of lessons. And and that was really, yeah, that was confusing. There was a whole thing too about back in the start, when it was like being together after death or something. I think it was something about even being together after death. And I was like, at some point, I was like, hell no, I'm getting far away from you as possible. I'm like, a soulmate situation we got going here, but it's not one I want to continue. But yeah, it's so trippy. There's like more to that too, the whole thing. But anyways, so his younger daughter, so his daughters are the younger daughters, and my older daughters are from the first husband, the one that was crazy. We gave up on trying to contain saneness, because I think that is a surrender, when people just surrender to their sickness instead of trying to heal it or get better. So somebody's crazy, they choose to just let go, to just be like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. And if somebody has got, no control, then I would say, need some kind of detox. Like there's some kind of detox or something. And there can be different states of consciousness too, because there can be ones, that don't talk, or because there's like lots of people who are autistic and stuff, and then people think like no one's home or something. It's like, no, I think it's more of their consciousness isn't able to get out through to maneuver properly, because of some kind of a chemical thing is thrown things out of whack in their bodies. That's what I think. That I think we're gonna have a lot of people who aren't gonna be autistic anymore after the med beds and stuff. after the detox, maybe even after RFK gets going. There's going to be a lot of kids that are suddenly not being autistic and stuff. I don't know. We'll see. God, there is something wrong in my hand. It is driving me crazy. And I keep bumping into it. And it is so sensitive. I don't know what it is. It's like deep inside my hand, too. Fuck, man. I just can't wait to get out of this chemical assault on it. Man, I'm so sick of it. And I know that is her thing. It's like sticking down. It's like, is it gonna just like what the fuck? And if you cut that, like because what I've learned, what they say about the tumors is that when you cut them, that releases all that toxin. That is like right. That is like a lot of vital things in that general space, like going down her throat, into her stomach, into her whole intestinal tract, going down into her lungs, going down into her heart, going straight up into her brain, into her throat, into her eyes, into her nose. It's like, fuck, man. I gotta just work on, keep trying to, because even Epsom salt or any of that stuff to get it to open, I don't think it's a good idea, especially because that one on the back of her leg, and it was growing and growing and got so big. Oh, I'm glad I got my tissue. That it was growing and growing so big that it was, but I think that is a part of what was released into her system. And now why she's got all of these issues with these things. So, but I have seen improvement to get off of the water outside. So that is one thing that is good. And I'm just going to keep doing the detoxing. Her other horse pace is supposed to come today. Man, I sent my bank account is jacked up. I am so, all of a sudden it says I'm way overdrawn. And I was like, and it's like a week and a half or something. What is it? To 9? No, like 10 days till I get paid. And it's like, I'm just so tired of all of this way that we are expected to live and stuff. This isn't like living. This is like bullshit. But anyways, so he flew from California over, because I'm sure, I don't know for positive, but he doesn't miss a holiday. So they still have their little get together with them. And they don't really go and do it with the other girls now. They're during the summer, they do once go visit and stuff. But I don't know. He's more of like, he's got his own little family and they just get together. So I don't even know, like, because I'm always looking to see, like, something will come into my mind and then it's like, oh, I bet she's over at my other daughters and they're having their Thanksgiving. And so then when I went and looked and I could see her location, I was like, oh, I'm sure this is where the one daughter lives, even though I've never been there or anything. And so I'm sure that that's where they were at. And then I was thinking, oh, probably their dad's there. They're just going about having their regular, I'm so wheezy still, having their happy little thing. Oh, which, by the way, after I've been saying this about the fog and saying this about the fog for however fucking long, a couple years now, then I just saw somebody talking about a video, I think yesterday, and the guy was talking about the fog, and he was talking about all the things that don't make any sense about it, and he said, besides the fact that it has a smell and it makes you feel sick. That is what I've been saying for so long. I'm so glad when other people start catching on and seeing what I'm saying. Fuck. And it's a long, lonely road. That's why I'm still seriously, the one person in the comments who had said something about, how do you go in and talk about this crazy stuff? Like, don't you feel like, I don't know, people are going to think you're crazy or something? And it's like, oh, I know I'm right. But I'm so curious of what of the things I've said is it that stands out to you of thinking like it must be crazy. It's like a couple years ago, you should have heard some of the stuff I was saying because it was like I was talking about the fake sun and stuff. I was really getting it on that, especially on TikTok. Like, oh, that is the real sun and stuff. And then all of a sudden it just switches and everybody's like, there's fake sun, there's multiple suns, there's multiple moons. Now everybody's really catching on to this Truman Show thing. And there's so much weird stuff in the sky. And so, on top of, but anyways, that whole situation had me going into a lot of deeper thoughts, a lot of things, thinking about a lot of things, you know, with these girls over there, my grandkids, these ones over here, like all of this stuff, and the temporary part of life, and how you have blocks of time in different situations. And if you don't really appreciate those situations when you're in them, then, you know, they just go. They just go. They just change. And it is kind of so that we do learn to appreciate, I think. But, oh, this was another one of those. I don't know if I told you this one. I think I did, but I'll do a little quick recap, because it was the girl the other day who I saw doing the video, and she said that she was left work and she was driving, and no, she was going to Walmart. So she was going to Walmart with her kid, and she might have one or two kids in the car. And so they went to Walmart, got their stuff, and then they're headed back home. And she says like 15-minute drive to get to her house. It's real quick, and they go the same route every time. And so she's driving, and she pulls up to a thing, and she looks down at her phone. That when she looked down at her phone and she looked back up, she wasn't in the same place, and she didn't know where she was at. And she said, "Where are we?" And her kids look up, and then they're like, "Where are we?" And they all start being like, "Where are we?" They were way in a different part of town that she was nowhere near. And so she was totally freaked out and couldn't understand how she got there, what the hell happened. So there was another one of those now. Like, and both times they looked down at their phone. I'm telling you, there is something about, like, this is something that was being pointed out to me for so long, is reality is what you focus on. And it is like, I think maybe people feel like they're timeline jumping or something because they're letting go of reality somehow. But so this guy, was very flamboyant, and so he's very emotional. He's like distraught, like he's crying, and just like, what the fuck is going on? I am so fucking freaked out. And so he left work, and he has to drive to the next town over. I thought he said it took him about an hour, but so he drives to the next town over and works. And so he was, got off work, and he got in his car and he starts driving. He said he rang his husband, and so he was looking at his phone and said, "Okay, well, I'll be home in a little while." And then hung up. And when he hung up and he looked back to the thing, took his focus off of that reality back, he was in his town, in some weird part of town that he never goes to, in some weird parking lot. And he was totally freaked out. He said, and not only that, there's no way I could have gotten here in that time. I was like, I was about to get on the freeway, and all of a sudden I'm in this town. How could that even happen? And then when he looked at the time, he was like, there's no way. I couldn't be here in 15 minutes. It's impossible. And so he was like freaking out. He's like, well, can someone please tell me what the fuck is going on? I'm so freaked out. I'm scared to death. And it seemed so legit. He was so fucking scared. And that was the second person I've seen saying this. So be careful when you're driving, looking on your phone. I swear to God, I have felt so many times of like looking away and you're going to be somewhere else. But that is going to be the part where we're going to start being able to go through portals and be able to learn how to travel and go faster. Because see, you don't need all this. I've been saying that ever since I started doing the road trips and stuff. I started being like, everything is telling us how we need to travel. So then we believe it. But we don't need to travel this way. And we're going to be able to go way faster. And once we can figure out how to use portals. But now, even in London, they have the new kind of hover car on display. And a woman was just showing it. And she said they've put this out on display. And they're saying it's going to be by 2026 or something. But we're no longer going to be on wheels on the ground. And this looked like a little spacecraft thing, helicopter. So, and I don't know if that is like a beta thing or something. I don't know how it's going to be, because it's going to be something with the free energy. It's going to be using the energy that's around the planet in order to travel. And so we're going to be traveling way faster. We're not going to be, like I would be able to zip over there to hang out with the kids and the grandkids for the day. Because I would be able to zip right over and zip right home. I wouldn't be having to drive this treacherous, icy mountain road and all this shit. So, So that is going to change our lives drastically, and that's coming up fast. That's going to be a part of the big jump in the quantum leap in technology. There's going to be such a giant leap in technology. Oh, there was a movie that I watched yesterday. I sent it to a couple of people. I really, really liked it, and so I'll share the link if somebody wants to watch it. And it was called Encounter. And so when it started, it was one of those where I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to stay watching this. It was like a bunch of guys just sitting there talking and stuff. But then something happens in the field. A light goes. And so then it's like, oh, is it a spaceship or whatever? So they take off to go see. And that's what the movie's about. And it's really, really good is because, like, if you found something crashed like that, would you take it? Would you take it home? And so they take it home. And it is, it's really cool what goes from this creature. And you just have to watch it. I think it's very thought-provoking. I think it has a lot of really good points in it and stuff. I thought it was really, really good. Even though it's not like a high-budget movie or anything like that, I think it has some good messages, has some things that people need to think about and stuff. And even to the point of where this one guy says it's God, and the religious person said, that's not God. But then it makes you think like, well, why couldn't it be? You think God is a guy that has a like long white beard, like a wizard? You think that's what God looks like? Why can't God look like this? That's the thing, is where people have got to get out of their minds of what the package is, what it says is this. Like, you look at something and you think that what it must be, but it can be very different on the inside. So that is a whole part of this whole artificial, superficial kind of world that we're waking up to too, is that superficial part isn't the real part. That's the outside part. And so when you go in deeper, because there's just a lot of cool things. I don't want to blow up for anybody who wants to watch it. But there was a lot of cool things about it. And like I said, I think it makes you think about things like, yeah, why couldn't this be God? Why couldn't it be, where is it that we come up with what we think, what God is and who God is? And the reason why they were saying that it was God is because if you touched it, it could show you things and have you see things. But there gets to be more to it. There's a lot more to it. It is interesting. And but I found it very interesting too, of like, fuck, if you went and you found and you saw something crash and you went and you got it and you took it home with you, and then it is kind of like, you really don't know, like, is it a spaceship and something's about to come out of it, no matter what it is. And it's I don't know, it just has you thinking. It reminds me of that. What was making me think about was those stories, because they did it in a few different movies, I think to scare us or something. But if you found a bag of money, would you take it? And because they've always made like that the people are going to come looking for the money, whoever's money it is, and you're going to be a target if you take it. And that's what it always shows in the movies. But that's kind of like the same kind of thing with this thing. Because the FBI, because the government was watching too. The government knew that it had crashed because they're watching, because they are watching all the time, and they've been showing that and been telling on the news. And so there's footage over the Capitol of some kind of a thing. Over Tacoma, there was a helicopter chasing one. They keep having these chases, like, we got military up there messing with or confronting these UAPs. And it's funny, too, that they changed the name to UAP from UFO. When we grew up on UFO, it's kind of like, well, we don't want to say UFO. Let's just change it to UAP, because then it doesn't have the same impact. And when we say UFOs are real, UAP's like a new thing. Okay, UAP's real. But let's say UFOs, like, be real. And so the And maybe one reason why too that they are saying UAP is because some of them is their own thing, so they got to rename it. They can't just be unidentified flying objects. What do they call it? Unidentified, whatever it is. But I don't know. There's some kind of weird thing like that. They changed the name right before disclosure. So, and so for 4 days away, this is what the remote viewers were saying. And I don't know how the remote viewers got involved. Like, I don't know if it was the remote viewers are looking at this, or if they were looking at the 39 days, what's going to happen, or what is going on. Because I see different people talking about different things. And so the remote viewers were 4 days out from that, which is like, okay, so they're saying that there's going to be something happen. Cliff High is saying there's going to be something happen. And I don't know if they're feeding off of each other or what. So let's just hope something's going to happen. And the WW3 battle is brewing higher and getting more intense over there. And anything that Vladimir pushes on to me is like, I already know he's on the peace tree. He's trying to push I mean, he's come out and said stuff. These old vampires, these old fucking, he's said all sorts of stuff. Like, he drained the swamp where he is apparently. And so he is saying a lot of disclosure. And so anyways, he's not out to get us. He's out to help us. He's out to bring things forward. And it's more like him and Donald working together is to push the people we want out. So it's like a wall closing in on them. And all of that WW3 to me is a big brouhaha to get people to be scared and paying attention. But I think there's so much going on. People aren't even paying attention. I think there's a lot of people that don't even know about the tension growing over here and about what they are building it up to. So we got to see how it's going to go. But we got all sorts of, so over Capitol, over DC, there was 4 of those ships going around the Capitol, and some, I don't know, military went up and started messing with them. There's all sorts of footage of that. And then in Tacoma, like I'd seen the one where the helicopter, these people were out getting this helicopter going around in their yard, but it wasn't just a regular helicopter. It was one of those big, long, double ones with the things, like a big military looking thing. And it was going around, and they kept looking, and then they could see there was a ship above it. And so if they were chasing it or following it or whatever, trying to intimidate it or just making a show. And over here, so Tacoma is on the other side of Seattle. And over here is where they said that the most of the contact that happens in the United States happens over here. But I would say it's because of so much with the mountains and stuff. It'd be something with the area. And plus, I'm telling you, there's something weird about our map and stuff. I swear to God, I've said it a zillion times, because I feel like we're closer to the firmament or something. There's something weird with the way things look and stuff. I don't know. Just everything just looks so weird. And so I don't know. It's, I don't know. Like you go out in certain places and the sky just is so open, but there's something weird over here. There's something weird. And I've said things like there's weird things about this atmosphere. Now, like there's something moving in my nose. I swear to God, there's bots in there moving around. And it feels so weird. Let me think. So if we are 4 days out from whatever this big festival in the sky is going to be, hopefully, whatever's going to go down. Because I don't think Cliff Hyde said it was any, he said, what, did he say first contact? Or, I mean, see, it's hard to keep them all straight when you hear all these different things, but Cliff had said something was going to be the 39 days. And I don't know if he mentioned it as first contact or something. The remote viewers are saying that there's going to be something that's going to go down. But it brings us back to the sky thing, which we have been, where they say watch the waters. We have been having so many things with the waters. There's so much still going on over there with North Carolina and stuff. But this is their, like, liberation or something. This is, like, all these different tribes, too. Oh, my gosh, hold on. I'm just going to start sneezing. Oh, these sneezes are so intense. I see it starts with these fucking bots moving around in my nose. Is what is fucking doing it? Hold on. Ugh, I'm so sick of this shit, man. I have never, um, well, usually when we say we're sick, it's because like we have a temperature and stuff. When we don't have a temperature and we have all this, then we say, well, we got allergies. I have never in my life had so much fucking bullshit like this. Like, I swear to God. It's just the fucking snot dripping, the congestion, the constant sneezing and coughing, and this tightness in my chest is so deep and stuff. I was like, the aches in my body, this weird thing like right here, then in my hand. It's like just touching it like that. It's like, what in the holy hell is going on? It hurts so bad. Let me think. So whatever, I'm just hoping, because that would be like Monday, right? So we could still be on that whole thing about the Friday, the banks crash. And maybe that's like when I was looking at my account and my guides are just like, don't worry about it. Just don't worry. Just don't stress, man. Let it go. It's like, okay, maybe you guys know something I don't know, because this kind of shit stresses me out. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. So I don't know. Whatever is supposed to be is supposed to be, If it wasn't supposed to be that way, it wouldn't be that way. Whatever it is lesson. So anyways, so today, Friday, it could be, oh, that would be a good one too, Black Friday. That'd be a good day to turn down the banks. Everybody's out trying to shop. And it's so crazy that I just saw footage of 1994 Black Friday. It was crazy. People were crazy. Like, what in the hell for a fucking sale? And going crazy. Like, I remember when the craziness on the Cabbage Patch Kids. It was kind of like that. It seemed like there was another craziness at some point in the Christmas time of consumerism. I remember when the fucking expensive TVs, all of a sudden when they started making them bigger or something, they started selling these ones for like $100. That got a lot of people crazy. People were going crazy over those TVs. There was lines at Walmart and stuff. People stampeding, and I think some people got killed. But anyways, I don't know what this one would be like. I mean, it's kind of so crazy where people keep on being like they're so broke and they can't do this and that. But when it comes to holidays, it's like, well, we're just going to get money and make it happen. It's like so programmed, so much programming. And it really trips me out, really, is like how they've programmed us into this holiday that is so racist or racially motivated towards the genocide, those different tribes and stuff like that. And then to get us to celebrate and feed us the information that this is the joining of the two groups in peace, and being grateful for the new year and the new season and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's so twisted, it's so convoluted and distorted, all these different things. And it always brings all this stuff up because you have all these people who are in all different phases of this whole thing. Some people are very against it, and it's just a whole emotional tornado that goes with all this stuff. But anyways, you have all these people who, don't have much money, but they're going to make sure and go shopping and stuff. So and that would be something the universe would be trying to put a stop to. So it would be good timing. Like, fuck, it makes sense, man. For the bank to go down today, that makes real good sense to me, because I got overdraw. But it would make really good sense to the whole scheme of things, wouldn't it? Is that would stop a lot of people from senseless spending today, even though there's some good deals and we all want a good deal, because nobody wants to spend full price. They fucking manipulate us with this shit. So but if the banks went down today and people weren't able to use their cards and stuff, and then all weekend too, because there would be shopping, because it used to be Black Friday, but then it's turned into they start Black Friday in the middle of summer, I think. Black Friday sale. I've seen the Black Friday sale, especially on Amazon, because I'm on Amazon all the time. There's Black Friday sales been going for a month. So, and then don't forget, they still got Cyber Monday. It's like so absurd. Like we're all broke as shit, but I've got 10 cents. I'm going to spend it on. It's just like absurd, man. But anyways, our programming, we need to keep breaking our programming. But so if they did have the banks crash, and then Monday would be the thing with the Wall Street. Oh yeah, and there's a whole thing with the Wall Street that's going with the same thing they did to the GameStop. So I don't understand all this stuff about stocks. So, but it's something that the rich people would do to play games, but the other people caught on, so now they're doing it. And they're going and buying up a bunch of stock or something so that they can sell it back to them and get the price and then make it go for no value or something. Like there's something in how much you buy it and how fast you buy it, and it does certain things. Then you'd have to go in and listen to how the market people, and there is a bunch. I keep on, every time I open YouTube, I see a whole group of people talking about what's going on in the market. And but you got to also, when you're listening to the different ones, you got to pay attention too. Like, don't just listen to one group and be like, oh, see, they're right. Listen to multiple, because some of the ones I've heard, they don't have any idea about BRICS, about the dollar, about the currency, about the fiat, about, like, they're just talking about the market and how the market works and stuff like that. And a lot of them keep thinking, oh, there's going to be a bounce back, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. But so there is big moves being made on the market. They are trying to make a direct impact, some group of people. And so that is going at the same time. So we have a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going. That's why I say anything can go at any time. And there has been so much explosions around. Like, I constantly hear explosions. There's constantly keeps being like helicopters going over us. There could be spaceships going over across us, and I wouldn't be able to see it through the tree line. And then so many people don't even look up. They don't pay any attention. But there could be more than just like over by Tacoma, because there supposedly is a lot over here. And I've seen them. Like, I've seen them flying around. I saw tons in Spokane before I left. And now my daughter has my telescope. And because they have that nice big open, in Yakima, it's like really open. It's like kind of like this deserty, and the mountains are really cool and stuff, but you have this big like open valley where you have big sky, and there's a lot of stuff in the sky. So I bet you they're going to get to see some cool stuff. So I think that's exciting. That and then that also will help people wake up too, to be able to see all this stuff, especially like maybe they'll be able to see some of the stuff as it starts happening, if there really is going to be this big sky event. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we have a lot going on. We got this fucking super volcano pumping out lava. Like, that seems very significant to me. And we have all of these different tribes taking a stand. Like, the power is changing. And I do see people saying, it's the end of the time. It's the end times. I'm just giving up. I just don't even care about anything anymore. This isn't, hold on, my nose. Oh, the bots are moving around. Oh my gosh. Ah, motherfucking bots. That, it's not the end of times, it's the end of time. It's the end of their time. The time. If you think about the increment, how they got us to live on their time, on their clocks, punching in, punching out, going at their speed, running on their hamster wheel. That's their time. We were birthed into their time. But this is the liberation of mankind. And so their time is ending, but not our time. That's what people have got to see. This is the time where you want to be taking care of yourself. You want to be preparing for what's to come. And it's not the end of us. It's just the beginning. This is the beginning of the fantasy life that you've always wanted. The life that you felt like you were born here to live. Not this one that is structured and meant to contain and control you. So the cages are going down. It's the end of the times of control, of And that, is a part of the soul too, because some souls, it's comfortable to be controlled. And I think that is a part of their liberation. Everybody's being liberated to different things, I think. But that is where we're at. This is like the liberation of mankind. This is like opening the doors and letting us out of the lab, opening the cages and letting us out. And we're no longer going to be controlled and contained and, paying taxes and licenses and insurance and stuff. It's all such a scam. It's all such bullshit. I can't even get over. I can't even get over the fucking insurance companies and how they think that they can get away with this shit. And that they just do. Like, we all just keep paying it. We're just bitching about it. And something that drove me crazy from the time I was a teenager is like, I would always say, why do people just sit around bitching about things? Why don't they just do something? Why don't they just stand up? Why don't we just go and tell the government no more? We're not going to pay our taxes because we don't like what you're doing with the money. Like, I was saying that to people back then. And, you just sound crazy. People are like, no, but here we are decades later, and that's what it's going to take, is us standing up and saying, no, I'm not doing it. No, sorry. Nope, you got your last nickel out of me. I don't need what you're offering. And see, but we all have these things. We've been lured in. We have these things that they have that we want. So we're willing to take a knee because we want what they have. And that is where you have to change your priorities. That's where you have to look at what's more important, your dignity, your self-esteem, your health, or taking a knee to these motherfuckers. And, I don't know, your hopes and dreams of being famous and driving a sports car or something, because that is what they just dangle in front of everybody to try and get them to think like, so what are we going to do? We're going to fill the world with famous people? Like, everybody's going to be famous? Like, because literally people are famous to only the people they're famous to. The people who follow them. That's why these controllers are so hung up on these motherfucking bots. Are so hung up on the following list, because that's how many people they know that they can control through this person's persona. And it's not like every single person in the world is following this person. Like, there's lots of people you can know who they are, but that doesn't mean you know who they are. Like, you're not paying attention to what they're doing in the world. And but there's people who follow every little thing, who do pay attention, because that tripped me out. Like, that was something that tripped me out. Well, I think first it was on YouTube, where there was people who were famous from YouTube, but it was the people would be talking about these people and they're so famous and be like, I don't have any idea who they are. Who are they? Oh, they're on YouTube. Everybody knows who they are. And so I start being like, oh, okay, so there's people who are famous, and these people think, everybody knows who they are because they know who they are, but not everybody knows who they are. So really, when you're famous to the people who know who you are. And then there started being more things about that and stuff. But I really started seeing is like, because TikTok, that one really got me. Because there's all these people who are super famous, like Mama Dot, 13 million followers or whatever it was. I don't know what she's got now. Her life just continued to plummet, going down. Like, I don't even know where she's at with her stuff now. But like 13 million followers or whatever. And there's people who even have more than that on TikTok. And so they're super famous to that 13 million people. But even to that 13 million people, that's who you're known to. The rest of the billions of people, like, we don't know who you are. And so what is fame? To have a bunch of worshipers that sit there and say how great you are, but then look at what it ended up being for Mama Tot. She ended up having to trying to please these ones. She got herself all twisted up. And that's another thing too, about the not being authentic, not selling your authentic self, and putting out this character. As the character was liked by all these different groups, but then when it came down to it, the different groups don't get along, and then she had to take a stand. Once she started taking a stand on something, then she makes one group mad, and then that makes the other group mad, makes the other group, and then just going back and forth. And so then, it's kind of like she's lost. than who she really is. She's trying to please them, and then she's making them mad, trying to please them, making, and it was just like, she got herself so twisted up. And so I don't even know what happened and how many followers that she lost or whatever, but that was going on not just with her. There's a whole bunch. There's some on YouTube that's happening too with their people, because I see people talking about it. And I knew that that was coming. I knew that the people who had these big accounts and stuff, that there was going to be not, they got to enjoy the ride for a while, but then there was going to be the aftermath, the other side. There's going to be the side that, you know, pay the piper side. And so it's going to be a distinct change around. And it's just like, you know, Mama Tot was able to capitalize off of being a phony for a long time, but then it was going to fall apart. And then she's going to have to be real. Everybody's going to be pushed into being real. So all these different ones, these different accounts, I think one of them is like a family account, a mom and her dad and the kids and stuff. And then the mom found out that the dad's been, you know, diddling the kids. And so now it's a whole thing. And so she's online now talking about her trauma going through that. So there's just all these different things. To me, it just kept seeming like it was like a public, I don't want to just say public humiliation, because it kind of turns into that, but it is like a public encounter, and you can kind of turn it into what you want. Like this girl is, you know, she's going to build support of people being there for her, and people have gone through that and stuff. So she'll start building hers on something that's real, and it may not be as big as the phony one or whatever, but you know, you can go in that direction where you start building a group, a friend group or a tribe, like on an equal vibration. You're all kind of going through the same kind of things at the same time. But there's also a change in our society where we're going to be more of not just going and pairing up in groups and being toxic, but groups will be more of support groups to help people to become better. And so there'll be a new action. There'll be a new kind of sway in the groups, because we already had the part where all the groups were breaking down and falling apart, and people were being like, man, I don't even agree with you. And so everything was like restructuring. Now we'll start coming together more like with people who are identifying in your kind of realm or your vibration and stuff. See, that's what Ellen here. So it's like, I'm not going to, I mean, I'm going to talk my crazy talk, and that to me, there's a lot of people who are just as crazy as me out there, like, and it's not crazy to them. And so, you know, you have your people who vibe with you, but then there's also people who don't. And, you know, they just got to keep going and finding theirs. Like that one person who said, you know, they were just going to try and find, and then they didn't vibe with me. They were going, but then they wanted to leave me with their evaluation. It's like, I think you should probably, before you feel like you have somebody figured out, you may want to like look at more videos or something. Like, especially over like years of time. Like if you really think you're going to go in and tell me about me, like you, like, I don't know. I just think that that's so strange. Kind of a arrogance about it. Very ego, but there's a lot of that ego drive that is all around us. The ego is just out there blazing in all these different people. But when you think about like some of the people having to go through this like public humiliation, it is would be a part of to me in the soul thing. Like if you went and looked about reincarnation stuff, it would be like looking at the other side, so that they probably were some kind of part of creating a public humiliation towards somebody else or towards some kind of thing, and maybe it caused a big problem or something. So then they go through the life thing to see what it feels like on the other side. So that's more of like what reincarnation goes through. You go through experiences to see what it's like on every side of every situation that you can. And there's so many, it's so vast. It would be Like, you need eternity. But that's why there's so many of us. There's so many souls because there's so many tiniest little things can change everything. And so the universe is, has all of this going. So all of us, we don't have to, it's like, we can go in and we can learn from the different situations that we want to learn from. We don't have to play them all out because we're all playing them all out. So, so all situations that can be created are being played out. But see, we are the creators. And so it's like we can create more situations. It depends on how open you can get your mind to create more. But it is all in how you look at things and how you maneuver through life and how you see things. And it's like the establishment of self. And so to me, it is, I don't know, just, it's, well, everything with, spirituality and stuff is to look at life deeper than this shallow side of life that doesn't really have much depth to it. It's very shallow. And so there's a deeper, more purposeful way to experience life. And that's the part to me is being awakened into people. That's what the awakening part is. That's the part of coming into yourself, is this part of you that more lives for purpose than lives for desires, because they've got like a very impulsive part of society that is so based on fetish and impulse and sex gratification and all of this stuff, and hide from yourself, do drugs and drink and drama, all these kinds of things. It's all of these keep you from being yourself. And so whatever this thing that's going to happen is going to be, which it makes sense that it would be first contact, that would make people all of a sudden really go deeper into life and understand, especially if these other beings came and told us things and explained things to us. But I don't know if that's how it's going to go. I don't know. I don't know how any of it's going to go. I just know things are going to change. They're going to change drastically. And we are going to keep having them change. And people are going to keep seeing things that they hadn't seen before and understanding things. But it just is kind of a slow roll, a slow boil. It's like yesterday when I was making gravy, it's like, fuck, is this always how long it takes? And so that's kind of like what this away is, like a slow, but we'll get there. We're going to get to the right consistency. We're going to get to the right place. And keep in mind that is where things really go in, to like concrete them in, is the actual development, the actual learning, the actual going through it. So this is what is really creating our new world, our new society, because we are really changing, we're transforming. We're not going to be the same kind of people. We're not going to act the same kind of way. We're going to be a lot more mindful and compassionate and caring. We're not going to feel like we need to be pushing our beliefs and our thoughts on somebody else, because there's a respect for the universe of knowing that, the universe has got it figured out with them. It's not for us. It's not our duty. We're not here to save the world, to save the planet. Everybody's got to save themselves. Everybody's got to connect with their own selves. It's like your more advanced self, your higher self, your more of your, boy, she's really snoozing. But the second I stop, she's going to sit up and she'll be like, it's time to eat. That will be the thing. She's really snoozing up every time. It's the craziest thing. So, okay, let me think if I had said all this stuff that I was going to say, because there was, it seemed like there was some other videos that I had seen. I was like, oh, I want to say something about that. I don't know. I think I covered all the different things, but this is definitely not the time to start thinking like, this is the end of the world. This is the time to just do all of the things and not care about anything and stuff. It's the opposite of that. It's all the things that you do, if you do things like that, they're going to be a lot more impactful, which will be a part of your lessons, but things are going to have a abrupt turn. So everything that you're trying to dive down, giving up, it's going to be like you're going to be fucking catapulted back up. You're going to hit into and go back up. And so you don't want to be diving down. Like, you don't want to be doing things that are going to be hurting other people. Even this one girl who I'd seen a long while ago that I couldn't believe. I think she was a yoga person or something. She was talking about one of these full moons or something. And this is the perfect time to go get revenge on people and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, what in the world with this new spirituality? This is so weird. And so then I just saw her pop up yesterday, a couple days ago or something. And she was just so much more about totally different. Like, and then you just got to let things go and just let things be. And like, see, the things happen in life to teach us. You don't need anybody to come in and teach you. Your life is set up to teach you. It's set up for you to see and expand your thinking and stuff. And to me, if you're like confused, it's just be more mindful and stuff. Just think about energy. Think about the positive and the negative energy and how they're moving. And the negative energy, the dark energy, is the energy we've been in. That's the upside down. That's why everything is so distorted. And so when things flip to the other side, that is when it's going to go to the light. That's when things are going to start making sense. But they're not going to make sense to so many people who feel like it makes sense in the dark. So it's going to totally flip their worlds upside down. But that is what we're about to experience, is this going into the light, this fast, abrupt switch where it is like I said, it's like going on the other side of the record. It's like the other side of the wall. Everything, it's like there's the other side. There's two sides. And see how this one and this one, see how they're different? They're going to be, that's what it's going to be like. And then for the people who have been shifting through this with that awareness, it's going to affect them much differently than people who haven't been. And so this is going to be different stages of the awakening. I think the ones who have been maneuvering through this, it's going to feel really super good. Like, the good things are going to start making sense. Things are going to, like, you just go out and find this cool ass hat. And where cool things just start happening, where like, fuck, I have this fucking cool ass bathroom now in my kitchen. Oh, and the epoxy thing. So I had seen some surfers say, on the surfboard when they put it on and it starts doing that bubbling, they have to sand it. Like, fuck, I can't sand all that off in the house. God damn. And there's parts where now it seems like it's kind of scrapes or something on the epoxy. So that makes little, like, rough edges or something. I don't know. And it still has the bubbles and craters. So it's very much imperfect. And I may still try and do something else to try and fix it or something. But it's very imperfect, but I still love it. And it still is a learning thing. Like, there's way more to this epoxy situation. Like, when you're going to start out with the epoxy, start out small if you really want to get good at it. Or be like me, just jump in. But when you jump in and you go big, you got to go with the roll. You got to roll with the punches. You can't just sit there and fall apart when things don't go right. Because, a lot of times things don't go right. A lot of times there's things that can go wrong. They're going to go wrong. But you got to look at it as like you're learning. And so, anyways, whatever with the thing, I still love it. I still, like, I feel like I'm like a living the dream, man, because it was like for years, and just the whole vibe, the whole smell of the house, the air feeling so fresh and everything. Right now it feels like cold and really fresh. I gotta really get my fire going more. So anyways, but what I keep on trying to tell everybody, what is going on here is all about your healing. And it's all about learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So believe me or not, that's what I see. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.